morning, friends. Grab yourself a cup of coffee, get settled in. I am doing the same, and I'll be right with you. Good morning, good morning, good morning. How the heck are you? All right, my friends, welcome to Men Up with Mike. My name is Mike Cameron, and I will be your host. This is the show for extraordinary top performers and those that aspire to be there. This is a show where we talk all things leadership, personal development, and we do so through the lens of what it means to be a dude. This is the show for those that dare to dream big, that want more in their lives, that want to succeed more, that want to do more, that more importantly want to be more. It's Monday morning. I'm a little fired up. We are going to have a conversation today. Yo, Shane, how you doing, brother? Good to see you over here on MikeCameron.ca. If you guys are watching on LinkedIn or Facebook, I would love to have you over at MikeCameron.ca/live, or if you go to MikeCameron.ca, there's a button right on that homepage. I would love to get you here today. Oh, and once again, I'm not on your site. Why? She says. I am there, Anne. I am there. Hey, don't shoot the messenger. I'm here doing my thing. Shane's over there on the site. I'm there. You just got to go to the right spot, and I will do my best to make it easier for you to find me over on the site, but I am in fact there. So today we are going to talk about the skills to succeed that no one teaches. And I think this is really important. Took me a while to sort of figure this out in my journey, in my career, as I moved along. And again, sorry guys, if you're watching on LinkedIn, I don't have the comments popped up live on LinkedIn, so you can pop over to MikeCameron.ca/live. Ah, yes, Shane, extraordinary top performers, not just top performers, extraordinary top performers. Come on, man. I know you want to be an extraordinary top performer, not just a regular old top performer. This is about speaking to the guys and gals that really want more for their life. My hope is that I can share with you some of the knowledge, the insight, the wisdom, and more importantly, I can teach you some of the practices that you can put into place to get you there. Because as I've discussed before, this is really all about the practice of improvement. This isn't about knowledge. This isn't about intellectual. This isn't about learning new things. This is about practicing new things. Hey, good morning, Jorgen. How are you, brother? Good to see you over there on Facebook. For those of you that are on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, we're streaming all over the place. And I'm really trying to get you guys to drive back to MikeCameron.ca so that I've got everything in one place. And if you haven't yet, sign up for the MikeCameron.ca community. I have posted a lot of exclusive content for members there. Again, it's free. It's not something that I've monetized. My coaching clients get premium subscriber access. Everybody else gets regular member access, but I do post some stuff there that I don't put anywhere else. Good morning, Stacy. How are you, my friend? It is good to see you here this morning. So I digress. Back to extraordinary top performers, not just regular old top performers. This is about learning the practices that will help you excel, that will help you succeed at whatever it is you want to do in life. Again, I really want to talk to those that want more, that aren't just content to sit back and coast, that want to build what I call a life by design rather than a life by default. So that's the objective, is to share some of those practices, some of the lessons that I've had in my 51 years on this planet. Because this is something I've been seeking, searching, learning, implementing, putting into practice since I was about 19 years old. I talked about this, I think, the other day. I can't remember who I was chatting with, but I talked about the fact that the first time I read Tony Robbins' Unleash the Power Within, I was probably 18 or 19 years old, and really started me on this personal development journey. It's what allowed me to create the business that I've created, again, and ultimately sold. I had the opportunity to build one of the largest mortgage brokerages in Canada, ultimately sold that so that I could spend more time hanging out with you guys. All right, enough of the rambling. Let's get to talking about the skills that you need to succeed, that nobody talks about, that nobody teaches. And those are those soft skills. I think oftentimes we get caught into this trap of wanting to learn more, wanting to add more knowledge into our repertoire, into our brains. We want to front load all of the knowledge. But the reality is, and especially from a leadership perspective, if you are leading other individuals, it's not about what you know. It's about how you can connect with the people in front of you. It's about how you can communicate that knowledge. And that's more than just the words. So often we get caught up in this, taking courses on learning how to public speak. You know what? We don't need to learn how to speak better. In fact, we need to learn how to listen better. So that's part of what I want to talk about today, is learning how to listen better rather than learning how to talk better. We don't need to learn to do more. We need to learn how to be more. We really don't need to learn how to be better leaders. Many times we need to learn how to be better followers. Anne made it over to the website. See, I told you it was there, Anne. I told you it was there. So the skills that you need to succeed that no one teaches are those soft skills. And quite frankly, they're not often skills that can be taught. They're skills that need to be practiced. They're skills that need to be implemented. They're skills that each of us takes in just a little bit differently. They're skills that each of us exudes just a little bit differently, that puts out just a little bit differently. They're those skills that all of us have within us that come out differently. Hey, good morning, Maureen. How are you, my friend? It is good to see you here on Facebook. Again, if you're watching on Facebook or LinkedIn or YouTube, I would love to have you over at the website, mikecameron.ca/live. So let's talk a little bit about the skills of listening. I talked about we don't necessarily need to learn how to be better speakers, but in fact, we do need to learn how to be better listeners. So today I'm going to touch on a few different things depending on our time here, but this is the one that I really want you to grab onto today. Michelle jokes with me is I'm so focused on trying to provide value in the conversations that I have. I'm so intent on trying to give as much information as possible that sometimes I give too much information and I don't narrow my focus and talk about one particular skill. And as a result, sometimes these things can get glossed over and I can miss them because the way I say things may resonate for me, but I may need to say it 5, 6, 7, 10 different ways so that it resonates with everyone around. And that practice of being a better listener is one that I continue to work on. It's one of the things that I actively look to improve on, actively look to grow with. So today, if you take nothing else out of this conversation, and I hope this is a conversation, I hope you guys will drop me some more notes, give me your thoughts, give me your feedback. But the one thing I'd like you to take away from today, what's going on with the hands here? We got fingers going all over the place, but I'm kind of animated today. It's Monday morning. I'm fired up. I got shit to do. We're going to make things happen. We are going to succeed this week. So let's talk a little bit about active listening. Let's talk about what that looks like. And let's talk about how we can practice that in our day-to-day lives. So my challenge for you, hey, Justin, how are you, man? Happy Monday, my friend. So my challenge for you today is to take this one piece. This is one of the skills, that listening piece. There's lots of courses on learning how to speak better. There's not a lot of courses on learning how to listen better. So today, let's focus on how do we listen just a little bit better? How do we show up for those conversations with the intention not of conveying our message, but instead, how do we show up today with every conversation and seek to truly understand what the other person is telling us, what the other person is trying to communicate to us, to say? What if we made that the focus of every single conversation we got into today? What would our day look like? What would our world start to look like if we did that with every conversation? I've said this before. One of the intentions, hey, Don is in the house. Good to see you, my friend. One of my intentions this year is to have every conversation that I show up for become a life-changing conversation. And the best way for me to do that is to actively listen to what the person on the other end of the conversation has to say. Rather than focusing on my agenda, focusing on what I want to communicate, I flip that focus into, what do they want to communicate to me? What do they have to say? So active listening, again, this stuff is fairly simple. You guys have probably heard it before, but I'm going to remind you again, and I'm going to challenge you to practice. Stacy says, listening takes an interest and investment like any valued relationship. Absolutely it does. It demonstrates that you are invested in this relationship in a big and meaningful way. And that's important. So how do we do that? So we paraphrase, we repeat back. So Stacy just said, listening takes an interest and an investment like any valued relationship. So what I hear Stacy saying is that when you listen to what I have to say, you are showing me that I value you, or that you value me. So again, taking the time to paraphrase, to repeat back what you believe you heard. There's so many times where I've run into situations where what I thought somebody said wasn't at all what they said. Caused all kinds of problems, all kinds of challenges. When if I'd just taken 30 seconds to paraphrase back to them, so what I heard you say was X, Y, Z, get confirmation, and then carry on. All right, tell me more. Tell me more. That's a great phrase. Tell me more. Stacy, tell me more. What do you mean by listening takes an interest and investment like any valued relationship? Tell me more about that. I legitimately want to hear from you so that I can learn your perspective, because it's likely different than mine. And when we show up with that intention to hear rather than to be heard, it changes the game immensely. So these are some of the skills I want to go back to, the skills you need for success that no one teaches. Again, we get caught up in all of these different hard skills, the knowledge factor, the technical skills, but we don't spend nearly enough time learning to be better listeners, learning to be better followers. You know, my friend Usri, CEO of Home Capital, talks about that. Sometimes in order to be a great leader, you have to be a really good follower. And it's so true. And these are the things that we often don't practice. So where can you practice being a better listener today? Where can you practice being a better follower? Where can you shift your focus from doing to being? Where can you actively show up for those in your life? Stacy says the return on listening investment will contribute to the overall development, a true or real relationship. Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Stacy. The return on this listening investment will contribute to the overall development of a true or real relationship. Without question. And if you believe, as I do, that the quality of our life is the quality of our relationships, then you will believe that actively investing in those relationships around us is worthwhile. And if we talk about it from a performance standpoint, an achievement standpoint, a business standpoint, I want to do more, I want to sell more, I want to achieve more. It's those relationships in life that will help us get there. It's those relationships that will help us grow as individuals, and they will help us grow as an organization. If you're a corporate leader, the return on investment is huge for both parties, for both people. Absolutely, Stacy. Absolutely. There is no question. Anne says, without listening, there is no learning. This is so true. This is so true. Yet so often, and I think it was Stephen Covey, seek first to understand before being understood. Enter conversation thinking about what it is you don't know about the other person. There are a lot of understandable reasons that we probably don't expect. Absolutely. Ask probing questions. Again, these are all skills that we need to practice. So rather than focusing on practicing how do we talk, let's shift our focus to how do we listen? What are the questions that we can ask the person on the other end of the conversation that can get them more deeply engaged, that can give you a deeper understanding, a deeper empathy of who they are, where they come from, and what they hope to understand or what they hope to accomplish? You know, the value in doing that is immense. You know, we wouldn't go, for me, I'm an ultra marathoner, so I wouldn't go run 100 miles without a whole bunch of training runs leading up. Yet as leaders, as men who want to accomplish more, who want to do more, that want to achieve more, that want to be extraordinary top performers, how often do we go into battle unprepared? We go in with the knowledge, yet we don't have those soft skills, the empathy, the time management, the listening, all of these practices that they don't often teach us in school. Very few university degrees that I'm aware of anyways. If you know something different, let me know. Focus on these soft skills. It's all about the knowledge. And this is where I struggle sometimes with the experts, because they may have the knowledge, but if they can't make that connection, if they can't provide those soft skills, if they can't convey a message in a way that somebody is willing to receive it and hear it, then all of that knowledge is completely useless. Good morning, Kathleen. How are you? You know, for me, one of the biggest pieces in the evolution of Mike was the soft skills so that I talk about. I mean, these are something that I've been actively practicing for probably 30 years now. But one of the revelations I had recently in the last maybe 6, 7 years, and I've talked about this before, when my wife and I split up, Shane says, try an arts degree. Okay, maybe. I've never done an arts degree, so I can't speak to that. When my wife and I split up 8 years ago, I really turned inward. I started looking at yoga, meditation, finding that inner self, and really focused on the being rather than the doing. I'd achieved all the doing. I'd done all the things. I'd had all the success. So I started to turn inward. And that was a game changer for me. But what I realized at that point was the one piece that I hadn't done yet was mastering that art of vulnerability. And I've talked about this before. I talk about it a lot, and you're going to hear me talk about it again. By definition, the practice of vulnerability requires more than one person. So it's not something I can get sitting in a Zen room by myself, meditating, doing yoga by myself. And I realized that in order to practice vulnerability, I had to get together with guys like Don. I had to get together in a group setting and set up an intentional space where I could legitimately practice vulnerability. From a leadership standpoint, sometimes that meant saying, I don't have all the answers, but I know that collectively we can come up with all the answers. And we can do these things. We can exceed, we can excel, we can become extraordinary top performers. I'm finding this now in my group coaching environment. I do a lot of one-on-one coaching, but there's a real magic that happens in that group coaching environment where you get a bunch of guys together and you share your hopes, your dreams, the things that you want to achieve, that you want to accomplish, how you want to show up in this world as an extraordinary top performer. When you get together with a group of guys and you share that with some guidance, again, this wasn't meant to be a sales pitch, but it's kind of going to be a sales pitch. That group coaching, the one-on-one stuff is fantastic because it's focused, it's specific. Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Ken. How are you guys? But that group work that we have, that practice of vulnerability, being able to articulate, not just in front of one individual coach, that thing that you aspire to accomplish, those million men that you want to touch, and not in a creepy way, that I want to impact. Being able to say that out loud in a group environment is powerful. Stacy, I personally don't like the term soft skills. Many technical people present the perspective that they are fluffy and devalue these skills in the world of business, corporate, or trade. Yeah, absolutely. I would 100%. It's funny, Stacy, because I actually hesitated to say soft skills, but it is a term that gets used, so they're recognizable. But I totally agree with you. Soft connotates weakness, and there's nothing fucking weak about being able to share empathy, to learn how to listen. In fact, most of that stuff takes a lot more courage than those hard skills. So I appreciate you bringing that up because it's true. I don't love the term soft skills at all. Let's call them power skills because they are. They're fucking power skills. If you want to excel at anything in this world, you want to achieve anything in this world, these are the skills that you need to master. You need to find resources, opportunities, spaces where you can practice these skills. If you can't find them, create them. If you want help creating them, reach out to me. This is the sales pitch. I can help you do that. I've been helping you do that for a very long time. I've been helping people do that for a very long time, not necessarily you. Hey, good morning, Ken. It is good to see you, man. What is going on in your neck of the woods? All right, my friends, call them skills to the nth degree, Anne says. Yes. Remember, a group setting is a wonderful place to learn about anything and everything. Yeah, it is. Again, that's the beauty of the group environment and a coaching environment. You know, I can direct, I can guide, I can share my wisdom, the things that I've learned, building the businesses that I've built, doing the things that I've done. But we all get to share each other's experiences. We all get to see, you know, there are some that are further behind you, there are some that are further ahead of you. Power skills. I'm glad you like it. Let's call them power skills. I really like that, actually. I'm going to hang on to that. Power skills for success. Maybe I should create a course called Power Skills for Success. I really struggle with this, you know, even the extraordinary top performer thing. But it's true. Like, I have ambition. I want to be an extraordinary top performer. I want to take my game to the next level. I got a lot more in me to give. I feel like I've given a lot to the world to date, but I've got a fuck of a lot more to give. You guys help me do that. Every single day that you show up and share with me, I appreciate that. I respect that, and I appreciate you. All right, my friends, look at that. I've rambled on for 30 minutes. I hope you found some value. Again, I would love your feedback. If there are things that I can do to provide value for you, I'm here every day. I'm always looking for topics. I'm looking for things to talk about. So if there's something you want researched that you want me to talk about, drop me a note in the comments and I will do that. That's the beauty of working with coaching clients. You know, I get a collective view of individuals, their challenges, their problems. I get to go out and research solutions for them and bring them back to them. And as a result, I end up learning, I end up growing, I end up practicing. So once again, I'm going to bring it back to my challenge for you today. My challenge for you today is that active listening challenge. The next conversation you enter into, go in with the intention of coming out with a full understanding of the other person's point of view, where they're coming from, why they're coming from it, what they believe, and how you can support them, assuming that you believe in what they believe in. Good morning, Donna. How are you? Good morning, Darlene. So let's put those active listening skills into play today. Mirror back, paraphrase, repeat what you hear somebody telling you. Ask for confirmation, ask for acknowledgement. Seek first to understand, then to be understood. All right, my friends, as always, continue to make beautiful shit happen. We're going to try and do this little music outro again. Let's see if I can get this right. Brian, be genuine, be humble, ask great questions. Yes. All right, here we go. Fading out. Thanks so much for joining me today, gang. See you tomorrow morning.